How do you get people to buy into something that, for many people who work in business, don't get the idea that they have a role to play in risk management and security? And it can be something as simple as think twice before you open that attachment in that email.
Yes, great question. Well, let me just pause on the buy-in piece for now. I've been hearing that line of thought for decades, and I've worked globally, and there are many cultures around the world where they actually find it offensive if you're trying to sell something. So you have to go down the path of inspiring. And the inspiration better be good because the attention spans are low. So you have to really create a combined vision, in my mind, of increasing the maturity, everyone's maturity and growth as a result of it, but also having a direct and tangible effect into their business goals today. So if you can quickly travel down that path of, for this particular goal that you have this quarter, what if I can collaborate with you and bring you greater success as a result of a few things that I can put in place for you, that I can help you put in place, then they don't mind. You're not necessarily slowing things down, and that has to be cleverly selected. And then they learn something new. And there's a bit of empowerment on the side of the organization that says, great, I learned a new trick and thank you. It makes me feel better about it. I'm helping along. A whole lot of gamification. And I don't just mean playing games. I just mean creating a fun experience so that people can interpret the learning for their personal lives, their personal security and privacy in the digital space, and then apply it to the enterprise. So working it a bit backwards. Teaching folks some skills that they can bring home and then having them immediately apply it to the organization. It's a bit of an indirect route, but has worked really well for me.
Alan, your turn. One very valid approach to more data seems to be to shifting the more sensitive information to other parties. Well, is this strategy becoming the norm? And are the folks who end up holding a particular company's sensitive data, is that number of businesses growing? And do they have the same problems that I addressed to Paula? Namely, everybody has to buy into the idea that what we've got going here is important, and it's an essential service we're providing to our customers. And if we don't get it right, we're in a deep hole.
So great question. Yes, the first part of your question is if you are moving your data to someone else, they have the same risks, problems, and issues that you do holding the data. It may be that they're bigger and they're able to have controls that you don't. They have economies of scale. They have separated teams. They have a number of things. That doesn't mean they don't have the same risk. So before you do that, the first thing you have to do is you have to have honest conversations going, are they compliant? Do they meet them? Do they meet the controls you would expect to have, at least, if not better, than you have on your own data? So there is a due diligence. If you're moving your data to someone else, like me, then you have an expectation. I should have a SOC 2 Type 2. And, one of the things that our security centers always have to have is audits every week from multiple customers, where we talk to their auditors, because we are effectively part of your company. If we're holding your data, we are part of your company because the data is the key to the kingdom for you. If your data went away, what would that do to your business? So they have the same problems. I have the same problems, and I have mechanisms to solve those. In terms of, and I'm going to use Paula's word, incentivize people, that's a really good thing. First of all, do not let spam and malware be by just your threats. We actually occasionally have sent, for some clients, have sent out spam, and if they call the service desk and say, I've got spam, it's got malware, or if they run the tool before they open it, they can win something. And that's actually sent by us. They go, hey, you've just opened a blah, blah, companies, triggered spam, maybe you have to do a course, or if you didn't and you ran the appropriate and called the service desk, maybe you get a $5 Starbucks card. That should not be a dry run. It should be something you expose your employees to, because that continual reinforcement rather than a video training class actually buys them into security. It buys them into they have a responsibility and accountability for it, and it incentivizes them to that behavior. So I think I've answered your question, and I think that going at an executive and an individual level, you have options available to you, but you're going to have to think differently to incentivize your employees to protect your business.